Hey, what's up? It's 8 Ball. Greg Redden out here, and I've just been fucking promoting the shit out of everything and everybody, and you know what? I don't mind. I've been drawn, everywhere I go for the past 2 fucking years, and a lot of it's been federal, but also it's nice to have a lot of people in my corner, who I respect in all walks of entertainment, pro wrestling, music, you know, arts, entertainment, whatever. A lot of people that I have been promoting very effectively. But let's face it, how much longer does this got to go on while I go broke? I mean, I have been broke for the past 2 years. Socialism is a beautiful thing, but let's face it, it's not paying the fucking bills. I don't mind getting everybody over, but at some point, hey guys, how about giving me a call? I know it's, at what point do I become stupid and think, well, getting everybody over for free is just not that, Now, mind you, I've been paying my dues and I understand that. But let me put it this way. Let's not bitch, because that's not what I'm doing here. I'm just stating the facts. I make about $950 a month from Social Security income. Make no mistake about it, I have no desire to work at a McDonald's. Not that there's anything wrong with that, or at a Taco Bell, or any place. I said long ago, when I started out for San Diego, I was going out there to become rich and famous. It was a little lighthearted at the time. I knew it wouldn't happen overnight, but I don't settle for mediocre. That's not what I'm all about. I came to play, and when 8 Ball's all in, I come up aces, and I'm sick of getting played. But here's the thing. I also respect the fact that I've drawn a lot of attention, and I've got the right people in my corner. I respect everybody, paying their respects, but I also understand at some point, I'm going fucking broke. I put my number out there. I haven't gotten a fucking call. And ever since, the mass majority of entertainment became aware of me much faster than, the federal forecast. And oftentimes the entertainment industry became part of the federal forecast, as I call it. Basically, I'm to the point now where, yes, I am a promoter. I am an actor. I am a businessman. I understand. I'm a singer. I can rock a fucking house. I might be a little, anxious and a little bit eccentric. I call myself, and quite seriously, an eccentric savant. I am a party animal. I can promote a club. I can promote anything quite well, and quite well for a long time for free. That's over. I'm living, maybe the reason I'm taping this now is because I don't think a lot of people understand. I make $950 a month, and for me, you might say I spend it too quick, but I bought 6 laptops in the past year that have grown legs. Let's just say they were ganked, but I don't call 911, much like an idol of mine, Brian Pillman, used to don the shirt. And I don't have time to be running out and chasing people all over and killing people over a computer getting stolen, but I've got a computer now. I've got an Android. But the fact of the matter is, I can't afford, internet service. I also can't afford to be going out and promoting myself like I should at this time. So this is what I like to do. I like to walk around in the middle of the night because, like Flair, oh, not long, baby, but it's serious. It would be nice to have somebody at this point do what I find so necessary and will do when I get to the table sooner or later. It's been a little frustrating because I've just been fucked with formally for the past 2 years. Not by anybody in particular, I don't say names, and definitely not by the entertainment industry or the wrestling industry or any industry, but just by federal fucks and people who have taken the grease, much like the famous song you might hear by Randy Orton, Voices. I've gotten a lot of respect from people that I respect, and I thank you. But I think at this point, somebody taking a small investment in me, and I mean small, because let's face it, I've had more disposable income, liquid assets, liquid money, let's just put it that way, $60,000, which was back pay for Social Security by the government, and that was fucking cool. I mean, I have the best time when I'm enjoying myself and everybody around me is. And I bought hotels and cars, and I flared the place up. I paid not always the bar tab, but I paid the tab everywhere I went. And you know what? I'll do it again. But you know what? Here's the thing. I was cool then, and a lot of these jackasses who treat me like shit because I don't have that much money, or I've had thousands of dollars worth of clothes, I've had a car that was ganked by the government, I've had, just been run off every property because they don't like somebody like me sometimes who just tells it the way it fucking is, the way it should be, and sticks up for the way things should be. I mean, let's check it out. It's 1 o'clock at night. I'm not an SS guard, but it sure as fuck feels like it does in some way, because I'm the only one out walking, and they've evacuated the ghetto. But leave it to me to get off a little sidetracked. My point is, an investment. Okay, before I get to that, I'll be cool again because, I am the god of my own future. I know I will be successful, and in the businesses that I choose to be successful in, I have no interest in being a full-time WWE on-the-road wrestler, scratching from the bottom up. I think I've made my own way. I actually wouldn't mind and have full confidence. I think we all, if you read the books, kind of like Macho Man, he had to get in the ring and get some ring rust off, much like I would have to do. But it's not like what I saw on TV and, kind of felt was maybe a stab at me, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm just paranoid. But, I don't have to become a student of the business. I've been a student of the business. I've trained in it formally, and I've been a student of life. I have much more interest in being formally involved behind the scenes. And make no mistake about it, I'm not some fucking mark or some fucking Nazi that's going to go into a locker room and say, well, this is what needs to be done. You guys are going to... Are you fucking kidding me? I'm cool. If I go into a locker room, I have much more interest in being involved in forwarding the industry behind the scenes, booking, producing, and I just, nobody will believe me, but I don't put it out there because far too long have people taken my ideas and, not name names, and I actually don't mind it all that much, but at this point, I'm not giving out all the ideas. No magician lets out all of his tricks. And I'm not going to give them all out for free. I have just, I got to think now because sometimes I talk without thinking. I have just surefire ways that this industry, the pro wrestling industry, can, get to heights past the Attitude Industry era, where it can go back to being TVM corporate, where the boys can have more days off and also be out in public and, can be respected like they were back in the day. It's without the pitfalls that came with the attitude industry, meaning I've got surefire ways of how you can be corporate attitude and still draw sponsors. I have surefire ways of how to deal with the critics that will come again with TV mature pro wrestling. Now, mind you, I find a wrestling company like TNA a little bit more, apt to my environment, but I also, still consider the WWE the big time. I think there's a lot of things that need to be changed about it, but I ain't gonna go in there and just turn house. But I'm not gonna go in there either and be micromanaged. I need to be allowed. First of all, I understand there's a lot of things about that environment, like any industry of that level. I mean, I've been studying the pro wrestling industry. I was formally trained very well, and I remember, and I've studied, but, I'm not stupid going into a business, like that, a major corporate company. There's going to be a lot of things I have to learn. But the basic points that I have in my mind, they're not Nazi. They're not that hard. I mean, they're just basic points that, if, loosely followed and worked on, the boys can have more days off to recover. The TV ratings can get higher. The money will go higher. The sponsors will be there. The critics, I have so many ways. And the WWE Network, I just have ideas that can grow that. It needs to be a conglomerate in itself. But, anyway, my point is, I'd like to get into the locker room and start talking with the guys and be kind of a correspondent or start learning. I understand a lot of processes like music and, LED and lighting and computers and promotion. Promoting is something. Social media, as far as the WWE's current, not to put it down, but there's so much I could do with their social media department that is just not being done now. I mean, some of the guys have got it. I mean, the WWE wrestlers understand it. I don't know who is running the project other than the guys who are just posting on their own, which are doing very well of a job, like CM Punk or the WWE wrestlers website. I like that on Facebook. But there's so many grounds to expand on just besides Facebook, YouTube, Google Plus, and there's so many tactics that I have much proven effectiveness in doing on so many levels that promotion, booking. Being a core consultant, I'm saying, being a go-between between the guys, tweaking characters, giving the business back to the boys, not so much where I'm telling them how to do anything other than, kind of getting with them and talking to them, giving my ideas, and I just have an endless creative mind. I have confidence in that, and I have a mind for the business. A lot of the things I draw from are from different aspects. And let me just stop that thought process. In life in general, I draw from all aspects. I am neutral. I will not go along with one religion, one organization, one train of thought, because I think that is where everything gets lost. There's not one mentality that's going to work across the board. There's so many ways. And another thing, I think the wellness policy doesn't need to be in place. There's ways I think the boys are smart enough now where it can be handled. A lot of it needs to be handled internally, and ratting out the boys for shit that isn't even that bad on the website was never a good idea. And I champion Vince and the Fed for not doing anything than putting a guy I respect, is like many of them, we the people, putting oh shit, God, I get so many names in my mental Rolodex. Fuck, the amateur wrestler, he's with fucking Skinner now. I can't think his name. He's doing a good job, but he got caught with a little pot, a little drink, and nothing bad. But I champion the WWE for putting him on TV and not ratting him out on their website. There's so many processes and so many things that can be tweaked and fixed, and God knows, there's, that's the main part I want to have in the industry. Being a full-time on-air character, well, is not that bad sounding, but I have no desire to do what guys can do so much better than me, and be on the road full time. And I don't mind being on the road full time, doing what I'm doing or want to do, but that's a process that has to be talked about one-on-one. And when I give my number out to the whole world and don't get a fucking call and don't get the respect that I deserve after paying my dues for 2 years for doing things for free, much better than most people do in paid jobs all over the industry. Now also, I'm a writer. I could have just unbelievable amounts of influence in the magazines. Just, how you doing? You alright? Hey, what's up? I like that car. That's badass. That's a little bit of individuality. There's so many things. Now, mind you, I do know that I have the ability to drop bombs in programs every once in a while, and it's not right away. My main concern is not being the focus on TV, but are you kidding me? Being involved in a program where I go out, and mind you, I am damn good at what I do. I draw from a lot from one of my biggest influences, God, don't tell him or he might call me a mark. Probably my favorite, I don't know how I'll say it, my favorite wrestler, the one I most respected all throughout in his wrestling career, is a guy like Mick Foley. I'm much the same. I'm a bumper. I like other guys I draw from: Benoit, Hardy, Rob Van Dam. I can't do what Rob Van Dam does, but his type of wrestling, I understand psychology, but I also understand there isn't one formula to make a good wrestling match. In fact, that's where a lot gets lost in the process. But guys like Hardy and Matt and Jeff both, Edge and, Christian, my God, while I have a chance to put this over, Jesus Christ. Why the fuck, other than they just didn't want him to do what he can do best and just be the best. You don't need to, and take the scriptwriters out of it. Let me share something. I saw a promo with Christian about a year and a half ago, and I thought, oh my God, he did the best he could, and that's still damn good. But I could tell he was just reading lines that were written for him, and it didn't have his passion, and it wasn't near as good as it would have been if he were making that himself. About last year, I don't know, when the WWE was in town, and I started my whole, kind of rise into the name, to make my name into the industry, although it's always been a passion of mine, and we all make our own ways, but when they were in town last year for a SmackDown event, I watched, I believe, Punk, of all people. Hey, I respect him. Don't tell him that, or I just did, I guess. No. Guys like Punk, Christian, Randy, Cena, Heyman. There's a lot of relevant guys, but those are some of the guys that come off the top. And believe it or not, these guys who are the Shield, I was a little skeptical when I first saw them. It felt like in their promos, especially their lines, were just being cookie cutter written from them. But I've seen their in-ring work. Jesus, fuck. They are just smooth and crisp and, fluent. But anyway, getting off track. I guess the point I was trying to make was, guys that I draw from, like Benoit especially. I'll say that about Benoit. I don't care what anybody says about him. I'll say his name because you know what? I don't think, and even the ones who might know what happened there, after what I've been through for the past 2 years, first of all, I don't believe that probably was anything other than a setup. Second of all, if it wasn't, that man had taken so much damage to his head. And third of all, none of us know what happened there. And if somebody does, well, I ain't afraid to say, I don't believe it. I don't believe he did that, but if he did, I respect that man for the 20 years plus he gave to the industry. And I just don't believe anything the mass media or the government puts out, because that has setup written all over it, and I'm not afraid to say it. Now, the WWE didn't know about that. Neither did any of the boys. So, I'm just saying that because I'm reading that as a psychic. I'm often referenced. Who else would know but to believe what the media puts out there, and the government and the officials at the scene? Of course, at that time I believed it too, how else could